Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another meal prep / batch cooking video. Super excited for this meal prep because this has two brand new recipes that I've never tried before. I am trying them for the first time and I'm going to tell you as a family our thoughts on these recipes and if we liked them and if we will make them again. Links to the recipes will be in the description box below. But let's not wait any longer and let's get to this amazing meal prep. All right, like every single week, we start out with breakfast. So we are just going to be making a simple breakfast again, some eggs with bacon and everything but the bagel seasoning because we cannot get enough of that stuff in our house right now. We are obsessed. So I just take the bacon, I cut it with my kitchen scissors because that's the easiest way. I fry up the bacon first, and then in a separate bowl while that's cooking, I just cracked 12 eggs and dumped them in the bowl. That was around 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream, some pepper, of course some salt. Gotta add those seasonings, y'all. Everything but the bagel seasoning, and be generous with your seasonings. Mix that up till all those egg yolks are mixed in nicely. And then I do drain the bacon. I didn't used to, but I was like, oh, that is a lot of grease. That's a lot of fat. Like, I know we're all about the fat, y'all, but sometimes it's a little too much. So I do get a little bit of that out of there, and I throw the drained bacon back in there as well as the egg mixture, and then I just mix that around and I keep stirring and stirring until the eggs are completely done. I went ahead and added some of that cheddar jack cheese. Get that at Kirkland. It's pre-shredded. I know pre-shredded is bad, but you know what? Convenience is sometimes better. That is the end result. Such a delicious protein-packed breakfast, so you don't have to cook breakfast every single morning. Next up, we are making some Papa G's ranch dressing. So if you guys have been with me, you know I love Papa G's ranch dressing. Absolutely the best, in my opinion, that I have tried as far as homemade ranch dressings. So the first thing we are going to do is add 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream, 1/2 tablespoon of vinegar, 3/4 cup of mayonnaise, 1/2 cup of sour cream, and then of course we're going in with the seasonings, you guys. So we're adding in there 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 3/4 teaspoon of dill, 3/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of dried parsley, 3/4 teaspoon of onion powder, and I do go in just with a hair of stevia. I pour it in a jar and it is good to go. Again, highly recommend this. This will be in the description box. Next up, I am preparing 4 pounds of ground beef. The reason why I'm preparing so much is because ground beef is so versatile. You can cook up a ton of ground beef and you can have so many different meals with it during the week. So the only thing I season it with is salt and pepper. That way later during the week, I can turn this ground beef into whatever recipe that I want. Super easy, simple meal prep right here. And it saves you a ton of time to already have the ground beef cooked. Next up, we're going in with some chicken enchiladas. Yes, love me some enchiladas. So I'm just using those crepini wraps. I get those at Costco. It's like an egg cauliflower wrap. They're nice. No carbs and perfect for this type of a dish. So that was around 3 big chicken breasts that I already cooked. That cilantro I just obviously washed. I cut it up into small bite-sized pieces. I added in the rest of that salsa, which was probably around 1/2 cup. I added in around 1/2 cup of sour cream, added some pepper, some salt. I did go in with some garlic powder as well, and then I stirred that around and I reevaluated, and I did end up adding probably another 1/4 cup of sour cream, as well as around 1/3 cup of that Hatch Valley 505, just to give it another little something something. Stirred that up. That is going to be the filling for the enchiladas. And then I just take that crepini And I just stuff those enchiladas, and I stuff them pretty full. Like, I am really generous with that. And wrap them, as you can see, it barely wraps around there because I'm so generous with the chicken mixture. And then once I get all of those filled, I ended up filling a larger casserole dish as well as a smaller one as well. And all I do after that, I stirred up that green enchilada sauce, poured it all over the enchiladas, added some more of that cheddar jack cheese, and this is superb. So good. And with those cropinis, it keeps your carbs lower. I baked it in a 400-degree oven until it was golden brown and bubbly. You can use other tortillas such as Mission Low Carb or whatever, but I really wanted to use those cropinis to really keep the carbs down and in control. But these are so good. Highly recommend this recipe as well. I have been making these enchiladas even before my keto days. I just keto-fied them after I ended up starting the keto diet. Next up, we have a brand new recipe alert. So this is a brand new recipe for me, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. But this is going to be some sesame chicken. Those are the ingredients we're going to be using. My daughter's helping me out in the kitchen like she does almost every single week. She is getting the chicken all cut up and cleaned up into bite-sized pieces, and then we're just going to fry it in a pan. And then while the chicken is cooking, we are going to get the sauce ready. So it's going to take 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1.5 tablespoons of sugar-free ketchup, and then it says a 1/2 tablespoon of chili paste. I didn't have that, so I used sriracha, which was still totally fine. I used 1.5 tablespoons of brown sugar alternative, 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, and then we're going to go in with the seasonings. My daughter's just kind of stirring it up there, but it does take 1 teaspoon of ginger. It says grated ginger. I just use powdered. It does call for 1 minced garlic. We totally forgot to put the garlic in there, not going to lie. 1/3 cup of chicken broth, and then it does call for some xanthan gum. So we put in there 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum. So my daughter just went in there with a whisk, and she just whisked that really nicely. We let it come to a boil, and we whisked it every once in a couple of minutes. Then we turned down the heat and let it thicken. Once it was nice and thick, and you'll see here how thick it was really good. We just mixed all that into the chicken. At first, we didn't think we were going to have enough because it didn't look like a lot, but once you start coating the chicken, it really is enough. The only thing that I would do different with this chicken is I would definitely add more seasoning. So as you see, she's topping it with the sesame seeds. It says to toast them. We didn't toast them, but I would add more seasonings. But this is a really good recipe. I recommend it. The only thing I do recommend is add more seasonings. It did need more seasonings. My husband thought it was really good just the way it was. So maybe you could taste it and go from there. Next up, we're going to be making fried rice to go with that dish. But my daughter is just cleaning and cutting up some green onions. I took 2 bags of cauliflower rice. That is the Kirkland brand, the ones that you just throw in the microwave. They're steamable bags. The rest of those ingredients we are going to be using as well. I just laid a clean dishcloth in a strainer, and I put both bags of the cauliflower rice in there because I'm going to try to get out as much of the liquid as I possibly can, so that way the fried rice isn't too liquidy, and it just works wonders. Once that was strained, we went ahead and just threw the cauliflower rice in the skillet. We're going to heat that up a little bit more. We're also going to throw some sesame oil on there. Sesame oil, in my opinion, makes the fried rice, guys. If you want fried rice that really tastes like fried rice, use sesame oil. We're going to throw the green onions in there that we used because, again, we love our green onions in our fried rice. We don't always have the green onions on hand when we make it, unfortunately, but we try to. We're going to squeeze in there some Bragg's liquid aminos because you got to have that in there as well. And we are just continuously stirring as we are putting everything in there. Putting in some pepper, a little bit of garlic powder. We don't really need salt because the liquid aminos has a lot of salt. Whoops, there was a party foul, a little bit out of the pan. So we kind of make a hole in the middle of the pan. I like to add a little bit more of that sesame oil, and then we are going to fry 3 eggs in the middle of that pan because, again, you got to have eggs in your fried rice as well. my own personal opinion. Don't have to. I personally prefer it. And then we just kind of stir everything around. We kind of stirred it before the eggs were even done, but that's okay because the eggs will cook with the rest of the dish and they will be done. But that is the final dish, and that is going to go beautifully with that sesame chicken. Then last but absolutely definitely not least, we are making dessert, you guys. So we are making chocolate chip cheesecake bars. And I went ahead and prepared my casserole dish, and I lined it with parchment paper because parchment paper is life in the kitchen. So we are going to start out with the crust. We're going to put in there 1/4 cup of almond flour, 2 tablespoons of sweetener of choice, 8 tablespoons of butter or 1 stick that we melted in the microwave, and then we just mixed all that up. We spread that out across the parchment paper. We started out with the spoon, and then we went in with our hands because it was a little bit easier. And then after we get the crust done, we are actually going to bake the crust at 350 degrees for around 6 minutes. Then we are going to do the cheesecake filling, which takes 2 8-ounce packages of cream cheese, 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of vanilla, a 1/2 cup of powdered swerve, and 1 cup of Lily's chocolate chips. We ended up going in with just a little more chocolate chips than that because why not? And then we went in with our hand mixer and mixed that up. At first we were like, darn it, we shouldn't have put the chocolate chips in yet. But you know what? It came out perfect. It even left little specks of chocolate. It was so good. Then once your crust comes out, that's kind of what it looks like. And then we are going to put the cream cheese filling over the crust. Oh my goodness, you guys. Tell me that, I mean, seriously, look how good that looks and it's not even baked. Is your mouth watering? I'm pretty sure your mouth's watering. Don't fib, you guys. Your mouth is watering. So we just spread that out, and we are going to put that back in the oven at 350 degrees. We are going to bake that for around 30 minutes. Mine took longer than that. Mine took around 40 minutes, and the edges came out nice and golden brown. The inside was perfect. The crust was perfect. This dessert was amazing, you guys. Highly, highly recommend this. Even the non-keto family raved about this recipe. You guys need to try this, like right now. Recipe links will be in the description box. So that concludes this week's meal prep / batch cooking video. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I hope it's given you the inspiration and the motivation that you need to meal prep for yourself and your family. Because when you live a busy life, and I don't know anybody that does not live a busy life, it really is just nice to have that peace of mind knowing that there are things already prepared, already made, that you can just grab and heat up. If you guys are liking these videos, if you could do me a favor and give it a huge thumbs up. And if you're not part of the Simply Misty family, go down there and smash that subscribe button because I would love to have you part of my YouTube family. And don't forget to click that bell so that way you can get notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate every single one of you guys. And don't forget to go out there and make today even better than yesterday. And I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye. On my own, but I don't know why you hit the road, but you don't realize I'm on the back when you're around.